It is myself, Ken McCormick 97, and Villain.
Hi, I'm Billy. We have a really great game tonight. We're going to be going through Spellbound Tengus versus Bushido Banzai.
And there we also have Taterbots versus Rogue Knights on the other stream channel, and then later on at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, there's Cosmic Dawn taking on Iconic Noobs, one of the last two undefeated teams in Tier 2. So check that out later as well.
All the matches are going to be wild tonight.
Let's hope so. So let's get into map 1, which is Oasis. We have both readies from both teams. How are you tonight, Billy?
Welcome.
I'm actually doing pretty good. The matches for Tier 2 this week have been really great to watch, so I can't wait to see what we get to see from Spellbound and from Bushido tonight.
There's a slight, like maybe a vengeance type thing, as we have a couple old members of Bushido Banzai, which was formerly known as Duck Duck Goats, on the side of Spellbound Tengus, which is Bambi, Pop-Tart, and Honey Biscuits. They all played on Bushido Banzai's team last season. So let's see how they perform against their former team here in this one.
Let's see if they can outperform some of their old teammates this season. Both teams do actually have a very strong tank lineup, though, which I'm very excited to see some of this tanking. It looks like on the side of Spellbound, they're actually going with the classic Ryan Zarya. Well, on Bushido, they are going with the Ryan and Diva. They're bringing that up with a Sombra on DPS and a McCree, and then they're bringing out some large heals with Book on Ana and Katie on the Lucio. On the side of Tengus, they're running up with the Reaper and the McCree, getting out some great damage. And they're also running pretty heavy heals with the Lucio and the Moira.
Ana can like shut down the Moira, like more effectiveness in the game, so it'll be interesting to see the interaction.
They get out some fat nades, they can shut down everything. Oh, and it does look like the first picks are going in the favor of Tengus. That Reaper is causing a lot of damage in on there. They are starting to back up a little bit, and they are doing a little bit of a chase over here. The Tengus do seem to be keeping the Diva out of mech. And there goes Hungo, back to spawn. It looks like he's trying for the reset.
Skrillex got the first two kills there to start it out. Skrillex, he's even with Bushido's like struggles at the early part of the season, they've had a really tough schedule. But Skrillex, I feel like, has performed in every game that they have, and now adding Quick Draw to the DPS line, I do feel like that is a pretty insane DPS line. Just from the small sample size we've gotten from Quick Draw, he seems to be a very capable DPS player.
They got that big anti out there onto Bambi, but it looks like they weren't able to follow it up.
Quick,
oh, here comes two ults directly out. So Demo's not taking any of it, though. He's going right in with that nano. Doesn't look like he's going to do too much damage. He does manage to take out the Lucio, but they do answer back by taking out their tank and the DPS. The fight now does seem to be going in the favor of Bushido.
It's a pretty scrappy fight. It's going pretty back and forth. It looks like
it is very back and forth, but J Money better turn around. There's that stun. Oh,
yeah,
and they managed to hold it.
Yeah, that's the fight. Spellbound really started out pretty poorly. It started out pretty bad, but Bushido just couldn't close it out. City Center is one of those control maps that really favors stalling. You can stall for a while for your teammates to get back, and only 2 fights in, we're already at 80% on the side of Spellbound teams.
And Pertso has switched over to the Reaper, although that was a bit earlier, off of the Sombra. So they are actually matching out the DPS now, but they do have ult advantage over on the side of the Tengus. Reaper's dropping off the high ground. And here comes that Deadeye from that McCree, and it managed to get 2 bolt supports, and they are out. Down go the tanks. It looks like they're going to be able to hold this one.
So in the fight previous,
Pertso is trying to stall as best he can, but looks like they're just going to crumple in on him.
In the fight previous, Katie had used beat drop to try to maybe to counter grab, or she used beat drop in the last fight. Whereas Hash Brown, he died early and he wasn't able to use his beat drop, and I do think that came back to play a critical role in that fight, the last fight of the map. I mean, the last fight of the map, where Hash Brown, he had beat drop to give his team the sustain to help them pull through and close out the map 100-0. So now we are on Gardens, which is I think this is a pretty dive favored map on Gardens. So
it's pretty dive. It's very dive favored, and it is actually a great map to try and run a Pharah and an Echo on.
3, 2, 1.
Since you have all that open space up there. It does look like they are going with the Echo on the side of the Bushido Banzai.
Ryan's Zarya from both sides as well. Mercy Ana on the side of Bushido Banzai, and so on Tengus sticking with the Lucio Moira.
Oh, and they trade off their Reinhardts. KDB manages to go in to try and get that res, but is taken down by Quick Draw. Quick Draw is taken down by Pertso, though. There can only be one McCree. Tengus managed to capture the point, but let's see if they can hold it. There are only 3 of them there. It is fairly even. It does look like they're starting to come back in full force. Nice pin on the Lucio. They are letting Hungo go a little wild here with that Zarya back up. They are pushing Bambi out. Bushido manages to take the point. They are pushing them back to spawn. They are getting a nice little regroup going. But they don't seem to be leaving the point too much to take more space. Looks like Bushido is going to sit nice and pretty on the point and try to hold it from there, make the enemies come to them. Oh, and now we have 2 Reinhardts in the fray, but they managed to take J-Money almost immediately out of Duplicate. They managed to get the Deadeye right on them, too. It does look like picks are falling in favor of Spellbound Tengus. They are hitting up the high ground to try and get that Ana down. Oh, that might have been a little bit of a waste of grab, but they might have just tried to keep that point as long as they possibly could. They do seem to be bringing the grab up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was a pretty... They used 2 ults there in a fight that seemed like it was lost. So they probably thought they could bring it back, which it was a nice play. A lot of times you see
it was a nice play, and we don't really know what's going through their comms. They might have said just do it.
Also,
Hungo gets a nice block on that shatter, but that is a huge grab.
Bushido Banzai, they are low on health though, but they seem to be healing up. Purse also switched off of Creek, so maybe he just decided to throw that one in, since he wasn't gonna stay on the hero anyway. So. But yeah, it was a high risk, high reward. They were able to get a couple kills, they win the fight, maybe get the point back.
And they still have quite a few ults sitting in their ult bank for them to use to keep holding this point. The only thing that they really seem to be sitting on is the shatter. Oh, and it is a good shatter. Pertso is just kind of wrecking right now on the Tracer. They can't quite catch them. Oh, and there goes Quick Draw doing the same thing. The point does seem to be falling now back in favor of Bushido. This is one team fight territory though, so they might be able to take this back and manage to take this entire map.
Bushido Banzai, they are coming in with 4 ults. They almost have Shadow to make it 4. They have both support ults and Skrill with Deadeye. I'm Tag Visor. So it'll be...
Tengus.
Tengus, yeah, Tengus, yeah, they're coming in with 4 ults almost. So it is kind of in their favor.
Right, opening up with the Coalescence and the Shatter, but the Shatter doesn't manage to get anybody. Oh, and they get slammed out of their Tack Visor by the fake Reinhardt.
But they have still
Oh, the
turned the fight
favors
back
are
a little
going
bit.
back though in favor of Tengus. They have to touch. If they don't touch, they're not going to be able to grab this map. Here comes the Lucio in
Lucio's
to
trying
attempt to
and he is
contest,
not.
but they are too late to do so.
Spellbound Tengus
First map
open.
does go to Spellbound.
I do think both points of the map were close, but Spellbound, they just made the right plays at the right time, and
They did. They
came out
just
on
played
top.
the right plays, the right ultimates.
Coming in with 4 ults there, like we saw the Demo Shatter save like when Bushido Banzai the fight before that, but then that helped them save all of their ults that they had. So coming in with both support ults and the attack visor and shatter, it was a pretty nice job on the side of Spellbound Tengus. And I got the names mixed up, so I do apologize.
Spellbound did a great job taking both of those rounds, but Bushido did actually have quite a few answers to them. So it doesn't look like it looks like it's going to be a really good matchup for tonight. They look pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think in my predictions I had this being a 3-2. I'm not gonna say in favor of who, but I did have it being a 3-2. So it is gonna. I do think we're gonna have a pretty fun match here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a pretty good matchup, and your prediction of a 3-2 definitely calls to say that there just might be an extra round, and I am all about that. I do love to see some Busan, so let's hope.
Yeah, Busan, when it first came out, I really was not a fan of the map, but lately, over the past couple months or so, it has come. It's a nice map. Busan is a nice map.
Yeah, I feel very similar on that with Busan. I wasn't a huge fan when it came out, and I think it was because a lot of people weren't really sure how to play it. But as more people started to play it and it got put into comp and a lot of people were getting it on quick play all of a sudden, I feel like a lot of people just found their footing on the map, including myself, and it just wound up being so much better at that point.
Yeah, it's a very versatile map. You can play a lot of different comps on the map, on each different point. Yeah, I think Bell is one of my more favorite control point maps. So yeah, it's or whatever. It's probably not called Bell, Shrine or whatever.
Yes.
It's a map. You guys know what I'm talking about. Bad Ghostbusters coming in for Skrillex, and we have Hash Brown down. So on the side of Spellbound Tengus, they're sticking with most of their first map lineup.
Yeah, they're sticking with most of their lineup. I mean, it wasn't a bad lineup. They managed to take Oasis with it. So let's see if it actually helps them keep Numbani as well. There's always a coin flip for Numbani. Are people going to run double shield and bunker, or are they just going to go and run themselves something like a dive or something crazy?
Yeah, Numbani is very dive favored. I also think this is one of the few maps in the game where defenders kind of have spawn advantage. So if you're trading back and forth,
yes.
defenders, it's either even or defenders are in favor of spawn. It is so annoying when you're on attack.
When you're yes, oh my gosh, when you are attacking, especially that first point to actually get the payload to escort it, but it switches when you go to street space, and so many people on defense lose so much space on street space because of those spawns.
It is you're lucky to get one fight on street space. It is quite the map. It's quite the map.
It is currently 1-0 in favor of Spellbound Tengus. Chat, and hello, Magic Man. Welcome to the game.
Can they hear us?
They can.
Okay.
If they're watching the stream.
Okay. Katie Book. It's just in a stream I did for another league, I forgot to turn sound on and people weren't happy. So that's something that plays my mind all the time. I just want to make sure they can hear us.
I do a lot of streaming, so I always have my sound set up for it. So we're golden on that one.
So we only have two switches coming on the side of Bushido Banzai. We have Zanny coming in for a demo, and Chaotic coming in for J Money, fan favorite J Money.
All right. Well, maybe those two switches will be enough for them to be able to take Numbani.
Yeah, from what I've seen from Bushido Banzai, they do have a pretty versatile roster. So Zandy's pretty new to the team, and I think he's played very well in his first couple games. So it'll be interesting to see how this map goes.
All right. Well, let's hope that they continue to impress us.
Zandy
I mean, I'm easily impressed, so they can't disappoint me.
Do you like watching ball? Do you like watching ball play?
I do like watching ball play. There's nothing more satisfying than watching a Hammond just mess around with the other team. Unless you're on the other team, then it's not as much fun.
So Habibi is coming in for Purse though, but yeah, Zandy plays a lot of ball from what I've seen. Plays a lot of ball.
Oh, so they actually wound up doing 3 switches.
Yeah.
Right on. It's a half of a roster. Yes, both teams played very well in that first map, and I'm really excited to see what both teams bring for this second map. And I know it's not a popular opinion, but I actually do really like Numbani.
Yeah, that's not a popular opinion. Numbani kind of sucks.
There's so many different ways to take the point, and there's so many different compositions that you can run on Numbani. I'm not a huge fan of the Streets phase because of the whole spawn issue, but I'm also a fan, apparently, of maps that other people seem to hate. Because my favorite map is Junkertown, which a lot of people seem to hate.
I will say, like, I'm kind of in the same boat, 'cause I think 2CP is a great map type. I don't know what it is. I really enjoy playing 2CP. Not Simple of Anubis. I think that's one of the worst. That is, like, out. HLC should be in the lineup. That is
Temple of Draw Anubis.
HLC should be in the lineup. Simple of Anubis should be taken out. Simple of Anubis is such a bad map in my opinion. Like, that is a horrible map to play. Junk is like you just get ruined by just Anyway, we're into Numbani. Yeah, we have Spellbound Tengus on attack and Bushido Banzai on defense. As you said earlier, we could see dive, we could see bunker. Not so much brawl, at least on first point, but teams do love Reinhardt, so we might see brawl on first point. It just depends.
Well, teams do love Reinhardt because they are both running that Reinhardt again. I am all right with watching some Reinhardt. And it looks like they are. It looks like they're running an interesting composition on the side of Bushido. They're running the Ryan and the D.Va, which the D.Va is great to contest that point because they can just hop right back up to that high ground when they need to. But they have a Soldier and a Junkrat, so a pretty decent amount of DPS to be going out without having them stay in one section for too long. You have Book on the Ana and Katie sitting on the Baptiste. And then over on the side of Spellbound, you have Bambi. You have a Reinhardt with Bambi and Pixie once again. And then you're running around with the Hanzo, which recently got a buff, so a lot of people are playing Hanzo right now. He's really powerful.
Yeah, Hanzo's really good.
Echo's another really powerful, even despite the nerf. And then they have Nyano on the Moira, and they have the Lucio coming in for that nice speed boost. And the speed boost does seem to be helping.
That was a clutch bubble by Pixel. Bubble where they got but that's good taken out by
it was a very early immortality, but they are getting picks on the side of Bushido Banzai. That Lucio they have to get out of there though. It feels like the two healers are currently fighting the point on their own. They have to get out.
Pixel's still alive, and Pixel's able to build up a pretty quick. Well, they're not at grab yet, but
they're not at grab yet, but they're almost to grab. There is a lot of ults that are coming online, especially on the side of Bushido Banzai. They're almost to shatter. They're almost to self-destruct. They almost have a nano boost. They already have the garage door from Baptiste, and even the supports on the side of Spellbound. Diana, who's right there at a coalescence. Coalescence is coming out, attempting to heal up the team and get some damage in, but that tire just goes and takes out their main tank and go Chaotix.
They do
Quickdraw
have
is still
grab
trying to
dragon
contest up
coming
on the
up
high
here.
ground, but he looks like needs to get out.
Spellbound does have grab dragon. Oh, 100 behind. Spellbound does have grab dragon coming up here though, so the Bushido Banzai can counter. They still have 5 ults. They only use Tire, so that's a great job on the side of Bushido Banzai.
They're doing great with their ult economy. The Coalescence might have been a little early on the side of Spellbound, but Coalescence charges up just so quickly. They're probably going to have another Coalescence after the next team fight. But it is going to be a battle of ultimates, it looks like, as they try to take this. Oh, and an early pick onto the Lucio, cutting down the heals on the side of Tengus. And a block on both shatters. Zany is going in now that he does have that nano boost. And we got a fake Reinhardt under the duplicate. It does look like they're going to be able to hold it though on the side of Bushido Banzai.
He switches over to Diva. So there, as soon as they grabbed, Quickdraw had died with Dragon. So maybe they were trying to set it up, but the kill on Quickdraw.
It looks like they were trying to set it up, but they just didn't manage to take it.
Big pick by Quickdraw onto Chaotic Phoenix has been doing a lot of damage on the rotations in. Like,
oh, and here comes the garage door with the tack visor, trying to get some extra damage out on that. It does manage to get one, but it really just seems to have split the rest of the team backwards. Oh, solo shatter on the ulting Moira. That is always sad to say. As a Moira player, that is always sad to say. We have a Diva battle going up on the high ground now.
They need to try to get out here.
They may have time to rally up for one more team fight with that speed boost going in. Quickdraw does switch over to the Genji in an attempt to dive.
So they are coming into a Diva Bomb and a Tire, so two pretty explosive ults if they get value. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, they are managing to take them down to the high ground, the low ground. Right, and that is an early beat to bring them into the team fight.
Oh, big.
Oh, they managed to take out the Tire right away. Here comes the self-destruct. Doesn't seem to get anybody. Oh, they are fighting to hold on, but it does look like it's pretty even. Oh, the shatter
Big
does get two. It is going in the way of Bushido Banzai.
No, Spellbound team is going to let Spellbound team. It's going both back and forth, really. Pixie's coming up on Diva Bomb. They have it now, so let's see what happens. Maybe they're able to stall a little bit more.
It is even. Hungo is out of mech. Let's see how much of that they can block. Oh, it does manage to get Hungo. They only have the Genji to sit and contest right now. Here comes Soldier in with the tack visor. It is getting deflected by the Genji. They managed to get Pixie out of mech. The garage door is on the high ground, giving some extra heals. Here comes Moira in to try and contest, but they aren't there in time.
The stall on the side of Bushido Banzai there was insane, because that was a fight Spellbound should have won.
It was insane. It was, like you said before on Oasis, it was a little bit of a scrappy fight, but it worked out really well for them, so they were able to full hold this. So they only need to take one tick in order to be able to get this.
Going into that last fight, all Bushido Banzai had was Junk Tire and Diva Bomb, which are two pretty explosive ults if you get value, but neither got value. They as soon as Tire came out, Bad Ghostbusters had killed it, and then Diva Bomb didn't get anyone. And I honestly thought Spellbound Tengus would be able to take it, but nice job on side of Bushido Banzai. They did a really great job of bringing that one back.
That was a very impressive hold, and it does look like they are going to be trying on the attack with the Pharmacy.
Pharmacy is really good on Numbani here.
It is really good on Numbani, and they are running the Ana for the heals on the tanks. They are running actually a bit of a dive with the Hamster and the Diva. It looks like on the side of the Tengus, they're running pretty much the same lineup, but they did switch out one support and one DPS, so they are running actually the McCree, and they're running the Mercy instead of the Baptiste. Res is pretty good as long as you don't die in a really bad spot.
Even in a lot of Mercies like to go for the risky res.
They go for the risky res, but they just kind of mess up their team when they do that sometimes.
It's high risk, high reward.
Exactly. Alright, and Zany's coming in. He's gonna hop down on the high ground to try and get some ult charge there and knock him down. That is a awesome pick on the Echo.
It kind
The
of
dive
seemed like
did
they
seem to
went
get
in
pushed
one
back.
at a time. Yeah, it seemed like it kind of went in one at a time there, and with Junkrat and Cree, which are two pretty good anti-dive heroes.
I was about to say those are great counters to the anti-dive. It does look like they're going to try and get in with the Echo.
I have your back.
That might be able to take their diva out of mech, but I don't know if that's going to be their full answer. They are taking the low ground, though, underneath to try and get in there. That is a huge anti on the Reinhardt. They have to pick him off. There they go. So now the picks are falling in favor for them. You got your supports supporting each other down on the low ground from Banzai. Oh, they do manage to get the res onto Bambi. Oh, they are out there Mercy now, though. But the other Bushido does seem to be falling now.
Great.
Oh, it's just a Mercy on the point. She did take a nap.
There was a great
Katie,
fight
I
on
hope
the
that
side
you will
of,
feel refreshed now.
There was a great fight on the side of Spellbound Tengus. I feel like
It really was. Bushido looks like they're just trying to build up ult to take this, which actually might work out very well for them. But Tengus have built up quite a few ults themselves. They're furthest along. Their lowest ult right now is the Diva ult, and that's at 70.
If I'm still on Tengus, I'm expecting the Nano Blade at some point, and so that's one where you should probably.
That was a huge block on the Shatter.
Probably solo ult the Genji as soon as Nano Blade comes out. That's something you need to solo ult.
They did pop that ult. They did pop that Valkyrie in order to be able to escape that tire, but with 2 down, it won't be enough to res 1. Now that's 3 down.
Katie jumps up. So with a minute and a half to go, this depending on how fast they take a fight here,
They could potentially win this 5 out of 6 ults. Let's go.
This could possibly be one fight though on the side of Bushido Banzai. This could possibly be one fight territory with the long respawns. Well, at least one clean fight and then a bunch of respawning and stalling.
Here comes the Diva mech in. It doesn't manage to get anyone though. Pretty unfortunate. Oh, but their Echo was picked. Here comes the answer to the mech. Oh, and it manages to get not only their Genji, but also their Ana.
It's a 3v3 on point right now. Quick Draw is building up a pretty fast tire here. So this is...
Oh, Quick Draw is going to have tire super quick, but unfortunately falls. So that got that tire now. They're going to have to launch it from spawn, but it is a pretty even fight right now going on point. They are up 1 right now on Bushido.
Gives you an extra red.
Here comes the Deadeye. You have double mercies on point and Valkyrie. Oh, they are managing to get the picks back on the side of Tengus.
Yeah, they're another scrappy fight to close out the body. It looks like Bushido Banzai is pulling there.
It looks like they're trying to pull it out, but oh, they managed to get the Echo. Katie's on point now. She was battle mercying. I would have loved to have seen a kill with that one. They switch over to the Tracer in order to try and contest. Bomb doesn't get anyone. Here comes Diva Bomb. Oh, it doesn't manage to get the Reinhardt, but they are actually coming in to try and contest as best they can. They got that Reinhardt, that Junkrat back on point, but he's down. Zany is trapped. Bambi's going to try and contest using the ball to spin to win, but he can't quite spin to win. Here comes Tracer in for the last contest, but they don't have any more recall. It does look like, and it is going in favor of Bushido Banzai.
So that map, it's my Bushido Banzai. They made the right plays at the right time. And in clutch situations, they were able to pull it out. Also, That was a nice map. That was a nice map.
That was hey, that was a really great map.
Even though both teams nearly got full health, that was a really nice map. Last night we saw Valkyrie speed run in overtime. Get all 3 points in overtime. Painful.
That was insane to watch because it was so close, and it just seemed like it wasn't going to happen. This one, they did trip up a little bit. Bushido Banzai did start to trip up a little bit with the ult usage, but they did manage to pull themselves through it and just keep on trucking. And I was dying with the Echo turning into a Mercy. You had two Mercies sitting on point in Valkyrie.
It's big brain. In that situation, that's a very big brain play.
It is. Hey, listen, if you're an Echo and you're about to die, just go to the first person that you can copy. Even if they take you right out of the copy, you have health again.
It also gives you the like in a situation like that, like they were on attack, they have kind of disadvantage on respawns. It gives you the extra res also, so you can just get extra res off there.
That was a great and not a typical pick for an Echo. All right, so that means that the next map that we're going to have is Temple of Draw Nubis.
Worst map in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody says that, but I actually don't mind Temple of Anubis. It's one of those maps that you can actually run really strange compositions on, and it actually works out fairly well. I mean, even last night, 2 teams, both running Symmetras.
Neither worked. So
Neither one worked, but Throwing for Content went and they said, you know what, screw it, we're going to go with the Torbjorn, and that helped work.
So Skrillex is coming back in on the side of Spellbound Tengus. Also have to switch sides. Skrillex coming back in on the side of Spellbound Tengus. Trying to get the all-star lineup back in for map 1. See how it goes for them. They'll also be defending first here, so... Pop-Tart is boop. Bunny is boop. Ask chat, how's the other game going? Like, what's happening with the other game?
Chat, how's the other game going?
Oh, yeah, I probably could have said, yeah. They can hear me as well. So.
I hope.
I probably could have said it myself.
Oh, poor.
Bunny, Pop-Tart, Reflex. No, J Money's red. Bunny, Pop-Tart, Reflex, you know. Bad Ghostbusters. Best Spellbound Tengus. Honey Biscuits is Spellbound Tengus. And then...
it's 1-1 right now, Lee Ratty.
Oh, this game,
Bushido won the second map in quite the take.
Yeah, it was a very close full hold on both sides, but Bushido.
It really was.
They put it out at the end there.
I should bring out the link that lets people simultaneously watch streams. You can watch 2 streams at the same time, but have the volume for one, as long as they're both being streamed on Twitch. No problem, Lee.
So the only changes Bushido Banzai make are to their to their DPS line. They trade out both DPS. So I think Bushido Banzai. Yeah. I think they just have a lot of players, which we're seeing. A lot of teams.
They do. They have a lot of players, and well, I mean, Tengus has a lot of players too, but they don't seem to be making a huge amount of swaps. They're very comfortable with who they have playing right now.
We're seeing a lot of teams have like the larger lineups right now. A lot of teams have about 13 plus players, which it is not easy. But,
it really isn't easy when you have a lot of players, but the good news is then those small amount of players can usually gel together pretty well.
Reflex is... Oh, okay. Oof. Thank you, Katie, for telling me that.
What did they...
Reflex was spectating the wrong team. I didn't realize that. I
Oh.
didn't realize.
Well, thank you for the honesty.
Honestly. I was ready to start it as well, so I probably wouldn't have noticed. So thank you, Katie, for telling me that.
Thanks, Katie.
Then it would have been a whole scandal on Stream Team. I would have been kicked off Stream Team.
That's your doing. All right, so Temple of Anubis. Who do you think is going to take this one? Because I'm honestly at the point where it could really go either way. Both of the teams have been playing very well, and they're very evenly matched right now.
I think Temple of Anubis, it is very DPS favored. I feel like DPS are, at least on first point, DPS are what one loses it on Temple of Anubis. And I think having J Money in on the Ashe, potentially, I think that could be a big help for Bushido Banzai. J Money is one of the best Ashes, if not the best Ashe in Tier 2. But also, on the side of Spellbound Tengus, they do have Skrillex and Quick Draw in, which I think is a very good DPS lineup. So they'll probably be able to challenge J Money and Persto.
I think it might just wind up being a game of counters for Temple of Anubis. I wouldn't be against that. Let's see if it does actually wind up as a draw on the Temple of Draw Anubis.
I will say Ashe is one of the reasons why I hate Temple of Anubis. In a game, in another tournament a while back, Ashe just wrecked my team, just absolutely steamrolled on defense.
A good Ashe, especially if they are boosted, with damage boosted, they are going to pretty much carry a game.
It's the worst thing in the game to play against. Blizzard, please nerf.
Please nerf.
Please nerf.
They've already nerfed her like 4 times.
She needs another 4.
She needs more.
She needs another 4.
Just don't give her the Brigitte treatment, please.
Brig is still good though. Brig is still good. Brig is good.
She's still good. She's still good.
Don't give her the mercy treatment.
In lower ranks don't know how to play her to the extent that she is dangerous.
Don't give her the mercy treatment. Mercy is the one that was just absolutely destroyed for like.
Oh yes.
For a long 13
time.
Straight. It was like 13 straight nerfs, not a rework like Brig got. It was 13 straight nerfs. And
all right, so remember you mentioning that Ashe. They are actually running an Ashe on defense on the side of Spellbound Tengus. Skrillex is going to pick up the Ashe while Quick Draw is picking up the Junkrat. They are going to get the damage boost out from Niano boost, and Hash Brown's going to stick on that Ana. We have our 2 tanks, our double shields, Ryan and Sigma. Then out on the side of Bushido Banzai, we're going to have the classical Ryan Zarya. J Money is going to be playing the McCree, while Pertso's going to attempt to get some picks there with the Widow. The first tick does seem to go in favor of Spellbound Tengus as they take down Quick Draw on that Junkrat.
Persto does have a very capable Widow, so it would be fun to watch that.
Oh, they are taking up the high ground, though, on the side of Bushido Banzai. They are going to eventually have to drop. They are running out of resources with that shield going down. That Junkrat's hanging out in the back right there.
Yeah, they've been pushed into a corner, and it's going to look,
and that
like a pretty
bubble,
though. It's going to be a pretty bad thing inside Bushido Banzai.
It is a pretty quick take. They were very aggressive. They took the first pick, and they said, let's just keep going from here.
And Skrillex is going to match the Persto on the Widow, so that'll be interesting to see.
You know, I like me some Widow play. I will take that. Although it seems that Pertso didn't do a huge amount on the Widow when they were taking the first point. It was really more of a deterrent.
Yeah, he drew a lot of Skrillex's
attention.
Yeah, he drew a lot of,
hey, they put an entire shield out in front of him. That was one shield they didn't have for 3 seconds with that Sig cooldown that they have now.
Also,
it is an early coalescence for a push-in.
Ooh, Persto. Widow did.
Oh, that is a big anti. They are able to take out Zany. Pertso does win the Widow battle. There can only be one. The picks are falling in favor of the Tengus as they are able to get most of them to push back towards their own spawn.
I would say Temple's second point is that I think this is the most defense-favored 2CP map in the game because it is not a quick trip back to the point.
It is. It is worse than Gibraltar.
A 6-minute hold on second point is pretty easy to do on Temple of Anubis. So do not even though Bushido Banzai had the quick takes. Do not be surprised if they're unable to take it. It is very common.
They did pop sights on the side of Bushido Banzai. They can see everyone now.
Oh, big shatter.
Alright, that is a big shatter for Bambi.
And
they managed to block off Zany's shatter, but they do manage to get quick draw in with that fire strike. That is a huge grab, and the grab to answer. 2 grabs on the same point. Picks are falling in favor of Bushido Banzai. They are getting very aggressive, pushing that Zarya and that Ana back to spawn. Their Ryan is inside, but he don't care. Mercy is going to try to hold the point well in Valk. They do manage to hold it long enough for their Reinhardt to get back. Going to have to block off that high noon. Oh, but they may still manage to fall for the Coalescence. They are going to try to get the res, but they're not going to be able to get it off. And Diva's going to try and contest point all on their own. Here comes Tracer. Quick Draw made an attempt to go and stall that point on Tracer, but they were just picked right off. Same with Bambi on the ball. Sometimes you can't quite spin to win. Oh, they aren't able to touch Kicks. He popped in mech for that quick one. Wow. That was that was quick actually for both points. Usually it's much more of a fight to grab the second point. They still have 3 minutes and 35 seconds in the time bank for if there is an overtime round.
Yeah, like
let's
that
see
is,
if Tengus can take it as quickly.
That's gonna be a tough time to beat. That's gonna be tough on side of Spellbound Tengus.
Sometimes you don't always have to beat the time. Sometimes you just have to hope that the other team makes a mistake in your favor.
That's true as well. Yeah, that's true as well.
That's the beauty of it with the time clock. Sometimes it's not always the best indicator of who's going to win, but they are both going to be running the Widow, and Bambi is going to be running that ball. So it does look like they might be trying to go for some type of dive on the side of the Spellbound Tengus. And here comes the Winston. It's a mammal dive. Well, a furry mammal dive, which are also... I like the other one first. I like the first one better. But Skrillex still hasn't chosen. Who are you going to be, Skrillex?
Defend objective A.
You're fully healed.
All right, Skrillex does decide to pick on that Echo.
Quick draws on Widow.
Yes, we have quick draw on Widow, and Herzo's on the Widow for the Bushido Banzai. The Winston manages to decide that high ground and force out an early immort. Bambi is going to get boosted by the Mercy, but they're going to have to get out of there.
So they've given a free platform to quick draw on Widow, which I think that's not a good thing to do. Yeah.
Oh, it is not a good thing to do. They're going to have the soldier try and contest on the side there, but he's running back to his team. It's not worth it, my friend. That is a very quick take as well.
Yes, another quick take on this. Are we going to see like a 5-4 tempo of Anubis? That's rare.
Oh. Alright, Hungo actually switched over to the Hog now. I do enjoy me some large health pool DPS plays. Because that is essentially what Roadhog is.
They switched over to, it's gonna be Ball, sorry.
Yeah, that's an interesting composition on the side of Bushido Banzai, but you know what, if you play for comfort, sometimes it's worth it to play that way rather than to play to disrupt the other team.
I think it's a very underrated deep tank line. That is a very good tank line in my opinion.
It's the gumball.
And Spellbound Tengus, they're about to set a faster time.
Spellbound is just as aggressive right now as Bushido was. They are actually already working on taking the point and keeping that ball off of them. Wow. They are almost captured it already, but they're going to have to get in. The Reaper is teleporting in, but he is going to get taken out almost immediately.
I will say, I'm sorry, Spellbound Tengus, I had zero faith. I had zero faith you guys would be able to beat them in their own time bank. Like I didn't expect that. That's impressive.
It's okay. I have faith.
Initiating match.
That's impressive. That is really impressive. It was two fights, two wins. You know, the beauty of CCP. You win 2 fights.
Yeah, it's nuts. And Spellbound Tengus actually has 3 minutes and 19 seconds in their time bank. Well, Bushido Banzai is going to have themselves 2 minutes with the way that they do the maps now.
You win 2 fights. It's no matter how bad the map has gone for you, you just win 2 fights. It is back. It could be back in your favor. The beauty of 2CP.
It can indeed.
And that was a very weird fight. I don't even think I caught what happened. It was just like picks just started to come in. And
there was so much happening on that. Oh, are we gonna actually see a Doomfist on the side of Spellbound? I'm kind of curious.
Doomfist, that is interesting. Defense of Doomfist.
It is an interesting pick because Doomfist can go so right or so wrong depending on who's playing them. I feel like Doomfist is always either an excellent pick or a terrible pick. There's like no in between.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
They are running on the side of the Spellbound Tengus, the Echo and the Widow again. I'm sorry, that was on the side of Bushido. I need to learn my colors. They're going to attempt to take the high ground again, so Quick Draw better turn around.
Oh, they get a big pin on the back. Okay, so another take.
That is a great pin, and Skrillex manages to take out the Echo with that punch. It does look like it's going to fall in favor of the Bushido Banzai for right now. They're going to push that Reinhardt and that Mercy into that room. Oh, here comes Hammond in the attempt to spin to win to contest. Oh, but they immediately get melted by the enemy Echo.
This is not over.
Alright, even though this is round 3, they still have 1 minute and 30 seconds to take the next point. If they're just as aggressive as they were before, they're going to be able to take it again.
Yeah, this is definitely looking good for on the side of Bushido Banzai. They have Echo Copy coming up. They have Shatter. It's looking pretty good for Bushido Banzai here.
They are going to try and come through Cave to get in on them, but oh, here comes the Echo. They have copied the Reinhardt. You got 2 Reinhardts sitting on point. You have double Shatters going on. That Immortality Field protected Zany as best as it could, but it just managed to go down. The Echo is going to battle on point with Baptiste.
So they are able to stall it out.
They were able to stall it out pretty well. There was a lot invested into that fight, but both teams actually still have a pretty decent amount of ultimates coming into the second fight. They just got to group up and push in together. It does look like they're playing around in the main for a little bit, but it does look like they are eventually deciding to go down main. Here comes the Dragons in an attempt to cut off the rest of the team, but it doesn't seem to get anybody. J-Money gets a pick, but then goes down. Quick Draw does get res back up.
Big shatter on center.
That is a very big shatter. The defense is still trying to hold hard, but they need to get that. They need to get that Moira off point. Echo's kind of hiding in the back there for a last-minute contest, but they get caught out by the Reinhardt. They didn't manage to get any ticks, but they do have to hold pretty hard on point 1 if they don't want to lose anything on there. Tesla score is 1-1. Anubis has not finished yet.
So all Spellbound needs is another quick tick.
All they need is that first point and a tick.
The first one also makes it a draw, which is probably, that's worst case scenario. You should actually.
Yes, worst case scenario is we'll get a draw, which it's the Temple of Draw Anubis. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't want to draw. I want that map 5. I want more of this.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
All right, it looks like the side of Spellbound on the side of Bushido Banzai, they're actually not going to go with the Widow here on defense. They're going to actually go with the Echo and the McCree. They have a Brig too, which is interesting.
The Brig, that might be a bit risky, in my opinion.
It might be a bit risky since they do have one tank that's very divey. If they're sticking with the Roadhog, that might actually be a very dangerous situation.
Oh yeah, maybe they're expecting to dive, but I still think it's risky to play Brig here.
Oh, we have a DC. We have a DC and the team fight has not started, so... thank you, we want to see 5 maps. Even in chat, they agree with me.
You can pause at any point, even if the fight has started, you can still pause.
Oh, I thought that you had to wait for the team fight to be over, at least, if they DC'd in a team fight.
Some leagues do it that way, but you can pause at any time. And
hey, J Money is back.
That is a big DC.
That is a huge DC. That might actually cost them, because now J Money is going to have to make their way back to point and survive, and their team is going to have to survive without them, and they are not going to have any ult charge going in. Although, luckily for them, it's still the beginning of the map, so the ult charge thing isn't going to be as damning.
Yeah, it's a 5v6, so let's see what happens.
Alright, it does look like J Money went on the Doomfist to try and get back quicker. Zany does manage to take out Bambi, but Bambi is immediately rezzed back up by the Mercy. J Money is just out there bullying now on the Doomfist. Bambi manages to get a great charge onto the Hammond, while Quick Draw manages to pick off the Rhine.
Spellbound needs to be a bit more aggressive here. Like, you guys are up by like 3 people.
They need to be very aggressive. And it's 2 healers sitting on point. If those healers survive, that's a bit of a problem, because they can continue to support their team and grab up their ults. In fact, they're almost to their ult. Alright guys, you guys could just get out that Hammond. Don't let them spin to win. They are trying to spin to win to push them off the point. Herzo does manage to get back and manages to take out the Ana and take out the Echo.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Soldier 76.
We do get a copy on the Soldier 76, so they are able to get that tack visor, and Katie comes back to try and contest as Lucio, but they aren't going to be able to survive the attack visor from the duplicate Echo.
So that guarantees at least not a map loss for Tengus. Yeah, as long as...
Potentially, they are trying to stall now with the spin to win, but that Hammond's not going to be able to get very far. It looks like they missed their grapple.
They have 2 minutes to get a map win here. 2 minutes.
They have 2 minutes to get a map win, and I don't want to draw. I want that map 5. Hungo is just kind of sitting in the corner there, waiting to grab a hook, but he does get hit by the Echo bombs. They are just bullying Bambi now with that ice wall there. But Bambi does manage to get rezzed. This is another scrappy fight, but it does look like they're going to be able to push back Spellbound.
It'll be interesting to see how they decide to engage here. We do have 2 ults on the side of...
We do have 2 ults, but they managed to get a late pick onto the Genji, who is already half depleted.
We have 2 ults on the side of both sides, actually. But also, this is like 1 fight territory here. This is probably 1 fight territory. This is a decent group up in a 1 fight territory, so this might have to be where they dump ults, but Spellbound actually doesn't really have many ults. They just mainly have 2, which is the Shatter and the Nano Boost, so hopefully they use them wisely.
They do have on the side of Bushido, they do have the Brig Rally, which they're using now, and they do have a Deadeye. Deadeye comes out from the McCree, doesn't manage to get anyone, it's blocked off by the shield. That is a huge anti. That anti helped them take out both healers and get some damage in on those tanks. They're doing a little bit of a fight behind the wall there. Zane's going to try to contest. Herzo's coming back on May to contest with Ice Wall.
You know, Bushido Banzai.
Oh, but they managed to get knocked off. Oh, Brig, you got to get on point. Those antis are really coming in handy from Hash Brown.
The May has to die here. The May has to bring up ult.
Here comes another Deadeye. It only manages to get the May, so that's their one contest. Oh, that huge bomb!
And that's it.
Oh, but Hammond gets off of the point. They aren't able to contest. This map does go to Spellbound Tengus. So the score, chat, before 7 people ask, this score now is 2-1 in favor of Spellbound Tengus. That was probably the best map that I've gotten to watch on Temple of Anubis in a very long time.
Yeah, it was a really good map. There were no long holds on first point attack. I mean, on first point defense. So I think that's very rare. You can get held for like 5-6 minutes on first point.
Anubis can go so wrong and so right for a team, just by skill and by luck. You can have the enemy team make one mistake, and you can get both points super quick because of that one mistake. But if you have everybody's on point, it could be one of the easiest maps to defend or attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think to get a fast attack, you do need the opposing team to make a few mistakes, and I think both teams made mistakes on their first point defense.
Oh yes, and the other team definitely capitalized on it, and both teams did amazing on that one. That one was a nail biter to watch. Even the defense from Bushido Banzai to hold on to that.
They almost stalled it, like they did on.
They stalled it a long time. Like that is not around to be upset about at all. They did a great job.
Red.
Red rum. So, how close do you think that your prediction of 3-2 is going to be at this point? I mean, we're already partially there with a 2-1.
Yeah, I could see it being. I still see it being 3-2. In favor of who? I'm not sure, but
in favor of who? I'm not sure. I'm not going to say.
So far it's been a really close series, though. I think I do think map 1. It wasn't dominant, but it was very much in favor of Spellbound Tengus. But I think
I think Spellbound Tengus were very in control on Oasis. Numbani was very much a
defense favorite.
It was very much a mixture. Like that really could have gone either way, and same here with Temple of Anubis. It really could have gone either way. Both teams just brought the hurt and the speed to that one. I'm curious to see how both teams are going to play Gibraltar now, because they're not playing like super specific comps right now. Mm-hmm. They're not saying, okay, we're all going to go dive and then do a traditional dive. They're doing things like Mammal Dive with things like a Soldier and a Junkrat, and then with an Ana and a Mercy. I enjoy seeing that. Sometimes, as much fun as it is, sometimes it does get a little tiring watching traditional dive with the Winston, Diva, Genji, and Tracer.
Well, I mean, it's one of the few maps where teams really opt into it. I feel like on most maps, it's Rhine Mirror versus Rhine Mirror. I do like to see the Winston come out on Gibraltar. It is
Oh,
really nice.
I love to see the Winston. That's why I'm a fan of the Mammal Dive, because I do love watching Wrecking Ball. I just find that to be a very fun hero to watch and to play. But you don't get to see as much Winston as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always great to see the Winston come out. Especially when you damage boost that Winston. It's a little more dangerous than people tend to initially think.
I think Winston does, because it's all consistent and it's AoE. I think Winston does a lot of damage.
And then you throw that Mercy on there to damage boost them, and you've got quite the firecracker.
And then you have the Slam Punch combo, which I believe it kind of really takes the squishy down to about 50
Oh yeah,
HP.
that's... Your squishies are going down super quick with that one. But always remember, with Winston, don't go chasing fast people. Winston is your favorite tank? Yeah. I don't know if Winston is my favorite tank. I actually don't play a lot of Winston myself, but I'm also not very good at tanking. I'm more of a Reinhardt girl myself, but I definitely see the appeal of Winston, and I do love Winston as a character. Alright, so what swaps do we have going in, Kenny?
We have Daddy Needs You coming in for Katie. It's been Katie and Book of Sorrows for the first 3 maps. And we also have Habibi. Was Habibi in? No, it was...
Habibi was
Reflex.
Actually in for Numani.
Yeah. But from Anubis, it's no longer Persto and J Money. It would be Habibi and Reflex. And then on the side of Spellbound, the only change we have is Pop Tart coming in for Hashbound. It's been Hashbound and Neana Boost on first 3 maps for them as well.
It has been, and they've been a very good support duo. I'm actually curious to see Pop Tart coming in on support. I do know that they play a lot of Ana, so I'm very curious for some Ana play.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Pop Tart in this one. So we have readies from both teams, and we're gonna get into it.
Nice. Let's go.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Okay, you guys in the chat are getting a little too mushy with each other. You have to calm that down, Lee.
Initiating match.
Do you think we see, because even on Duban we thought we would see dive, but it was still Ryan v Ryan. Do you think we see any dive come out here? I do think on this map it is a lot more common to see both teams opting to dive.
I think dive is this is a much friendlier dive map than most of the other maps that we've seen today, so I wouldn't be surprised. It does look like we're going to get some mammal dive from the Tengus. And it looks like we're actually going to get a double shield from Bushido Banzai with the Orisa and the Sigma.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I don't know if that is going to be enough shields for this map, especially if they decide to just take the high ground, but they are going to run that Sombra to try to pester out the other team. So this might actually work out for them. That Sig nerf, though, hit pretty hard.
I do think with Sig now, he's best in like a double shield setup as far as playing the solo playstyle. I think that's what they were trying to nerf. Is the solo playstyle.
I do too. I feel that Sigma personally is better with the Reinhardt because it's just so much more shield, so they do have a chance to actually recharge and get that cooldown out. They're going to throw the boulder, but they're going to actually miss. The Winston is going to hop on the high ground, but immediately get picked out thanks to that anti from Book of Sorrows. They are not budging off of that high ground. They said, we are going to match your dive, and we're going to pull you out of it.
On the side of Spellbound teams, they can kind of just push cart, and that'll force them to drop. So they don't really have to take a fight here. They can just push cart under, and it'll force them to drop.
That does seem to be what they're doing. They just have Lucio crouched down next to the payload. Their tanks are hopping up on the high ground to try and take them out.
They
poor
drop
Hammond gets
backside.
hacked, but he returns to cart. Spellbound does push them back to the other side of the high ground, right under a bridge. Their dive is actually very coordinated right now. That nade though on the side of Bushido, that really helped them out.
It gave them a little bit sustained, but with a coordinated dive, there's not enough healing in the game to stop a team that's all shooting at the same target.
Bambi and Pixie are just not giving them any space. They're doing just what a tank is supposed to do, make the space.
And Skrillex as well on the Echo. He's done a really nice job on the Echo in this match.
Oh, they do manage to get a late pick onto that Ana.
And this is like kind of like Nubani, where you kind of want to take a fight at some point because you can end up being last fight territory on second.
Oh yes, and it does seem like they are making a huge amount of space. The only person kind of hanging out behind now is that Sombra, but they're going to be able to get the pick onto Skrillex, but it's going to get rezzed up right away. So they're still going in there. Bambi does get hacked unfortunately and does get taken out. They pop out the EMP over there, but it doesn't seem to get anybody except the Echo.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Echo manages to copy off Hungo on the Roadhog and promptly takes a nap.
They just played really aggressive and just put Lucio on card.
They played very aggressive and they're keeping up that high time bang.
It wasn't even there was not even a fight taken really on
there was not a full team fight. There was bits and pieces, and unfortunately that spawn split over here on Gibraltar is a little rough. Daddy Needs You on the Moira was not even able to get back to their team before being taken out. Swarmed like ants at a picnic.
So we are looking at potentially a really fast time. But this is a very dive is the worst point on watch point for dive is probably 13. So it would be interesting.
This does seem to be one of the harder points, and the Sombra is giving them a little bit of trouble now. The Sombra just keeps hacking out their ball, but they're not going to take it. They're just going to keep going. They are taking up as much space as possible. Sombra tries to come out and get the hack, but is immediately taken down by the Genji. They're going to have to touch as quickly as they can, but they're going to get the boop onto Demo. Here comes the Deadeye. Oh, Deadeye does get two. He was protected by the shield. They are going to have to try and Sig 9 the point. They do clear off the point with the Roadhog ult, so they do actually manage to force them back. Genji is going to hang out there, try to get as much ult charge as possible, but it is eventually taken down.
They do switch off of the dive, and so they're like in one fight to get a very, very fast time.
They do a very quick regroup here. The Sombra is trying to come into back and try and get some poke damage in on their supports. Bambi does manage to get taken out by the Lucio. Alright, we got a 3 kill on that blade. Impressive.
And they keep them up through it.
Oh, they do manage to push them back enough thanks to that 3 kill on the blade.
He also got down to 1 HP and they were able to bring him back there.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
That was Skrillex on the Genji, right?
No, it was quick draw. That time it was quick draw.
Quick draw, okay. I was just so like, oh my gosh, the whole thing that I didn't even look at the name. That was some great Genji play, and that was a very impressive dive. It was very coordinated for Gibraltar. Like, we see so many teams attempt to do the dive correctly, and they just managed to get pushed out or moved around to the point where they just can't quite get it off. And then they wind up switching to something like a Rein Zarya or a double shield. It does look like on the side of Bushido Banzai, they are going to go with the Diva and the Reinhardt. They are going to keep the Sombra But nobody else has chosen anything yet, so I guess they're still deliberating on what they're going to do. On the side of Spellbound Tengus, they have the Reinhardt and the Diva as well. Skrillex and Quickdraw are running the full Yeehaw, and Pop-Tart and is out on the Baptiste, and Nyano is going to be on the Mercy, attempting that damage boost. I'm going to assume on the Ashe.
I do think on second point of Gibraltar, I think Spellbound played it pretty perfectly with keeping the aggression up, and it's kind of like Kings, where if you play that aggressive on Kings, you can make it to where you don't even take the fight on second point, and that's exactly what Spellbound did on second point. Walking, they didn't even take the fight; they just still capped.
Hungo is going to attempt to get in on the high ground a little bit. He's going to try and do some poke damage. It does look like they're going to try and fall back to the other side of the bridge to contest. Oh, the Tracer gets flashed by the McCree and has to immediately recall. They are going to try and get a little bit of poke damage in on that Diva, but here comes the Diva to come get them. It's an early immort. Oh, and it gets taken down almost immediately by the Zenyatta. Spellbound does seem to have this pretty wrapped up over here as they're pushing back Bushido Banzai. They do have the D-Mech Baby Diva. Oh! Double Baby Divas, let's go! Well, Hungo got his tank back. He got his mech back. So they are going to do a quick regroup, and they are going to attempt to take this again as they go down under the bridge again. Ashe is still sitting and contesting the high ground though, so they just have to keep an eye out for that Dynamite. Quickdraw does manage to get the pick onto the Tracer, and they do manage to try for a high noon, but is blocked by Hungo. They do manage to take Hungo though out of mech, but it does cost them their life in the end. An early immortality field, they are not able to quite get the res off yet. Oh, and a double kill with the mech.
This is a very dominant defense outside of Spellbound team right now.
It is a very dominant defense, and I'm actually very much enjoying it. They're getting a little messy up there, though, on the high ground, it looks like. Bushido Banzai had both their DPS kind of hanging around up there for a minute. But they do seem to have the ult advantage as of right now. That Dynamite, though, from that Ashe is a little dangerous for them. It has gotten them quite a few times. Tracer does manage to miss the sticky, but that is a very early immortality field. Alright, and Bob is going to contest point. He's going to do some Bob things. Bob MVP. BB manages to get 2 picks off, one of them being the Bob and the other one being Bambi. Spellbound is going to attempt to have their Diva contest this point, but they don't last very long out of mech. They are managing to get a contest back in, but they are still down quite a few people. It does look like Bambi is trying to back out, but not able to. They do get charged immediately by Demo.
Even on the side of Spellbound Tengus, they have to feel good about that. They really have to feel good about that.
They did. They managed to stop them, and that was something Bushido was not able to do.
And it's looking like they're going to be able to get another recontest on second point, which another thing Bushido Banzai was not able to do on their defense.
They were not able to do that either. They do have to be careful though. That Tracer does keep getting into their back line and doing now a few bits of damage on them. It does look like the Ashe and the Baptiste were trying to take the high ground, but they are dropping back down with the rest of their team. They did manage to hit the sticky, but it didn't quite take out the Diva, so the Diva mech is coming out. It doesn't manage to get anybody. It was a little high up.
So yeah, you put it on the plane. That would have been like, I think that would have been at least a 2K.
Oh, that was an early immortality field, but the Mercy wasn't able to be saved.
The DPS on the side of Spellbound brought that back, but as far as the Diva Bomb goes, if Pixie was able to get it over the airplane, that would have been at least a 2K for Pixie there.
That would have been, but even if it was to just zone, it did its job.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were shattered as well. They were shattered.
Exactly. Sometimes zoning is enough of a job to do. It does force Bushido Banzai to have to regroup and rethink their positioning. Hungo is going on top of the plane to try and get around. The Ash Dynamite is actually doing quite a bit of damage in on the other team. McCree is sitting in the back there. They did pop out the Immort a little early, but it does manage to get used by both tanks. Unfortunately, Mercy does get picked, and so does the Reinhardt. The picks are now falling in favor of Bushido Banzai. They are trying to use a Tracer of their own to contest and pester, but not quite able to do it. Now the supports are... they're going to just jump off the edge.
That's what you need to do.
Alright, we'll see you later, Skrillex and Diano.
Yeah, on watch point, when that happens,
and watch point is just better to drop to the back to respawn. They do already have... Spellbound Tengus has a higher time bank already, but that's not going to stop Bushido Banzai. I think that even with a higher time bank, they can still get this all the way to the end.
Yeah, and Bushido Banzai, they're getting all the picks here. They're really getting all the picks.
The picks are going in favor of them. They had a res, but the res just immediately got used up. That flashbang just immediately took out that Mercy. They are getting very aggressive up in here, but they're going to have to stop that Diva. Pixie manages to get a pick onto the Zenyatta, but Young BB answers with the double high noon. The bomb doesn't manage to get anyone from Hungo, but they're going to dive right back in. They're going to start and work on their next one.
Are they able to bring this back? Wow, if they're able to bring this back.
Spellbound Tengus manages to keep holding the point. That was a lot invested by Bushido Banzai for that one. They do manage to have the Transcendence and the Tracer Pulse Bomb, however, on the side of Bushido Banzai, so they do have ult advantage in this next fight going in, so hopefully they'll be able to finish their push using those ultimates. Young Habibi is actually almost to another Deadeye already.
Yeah, the McCree battle so far has been really fun to watch.
Oh yes. The pulse bombs came out from both Tracers, but neither of them seem to have gotten anything. They are going to use the Transcendence to push in their tanks. But Coalescence does last longer than Transcendence.
I think it's funny how Ryan
Diva Bomb doesn't manage to get anybody, gets blocked by the cart and the shield. But they do manage to get the shatter up on Demo. Here comes the next Deadeye, doesn't manage to get anybody.
That was a big E on the side of Hungo on the Diva. That was a big E there. But it's still, Spellbound Tengus, they're getting kills when they need.
They are contesting their little hearts off. Here comes Hungo with another. Hungo is getting these bombs ridiculously quickly. Hungo is putting in work. They do pull out the Bastion on the side of the Spellbound Tengus. He is just sitting on the edge uncontested. He does eventually get taken down by the Tracer though. And they don't have a res to bring them back. But it does look like the picks are falling in their favor. They just got to get that ball off point. Hungo is going to try to spin to win, but does get taken down by the Diva.
If you're an Overwatch League fan, if you're a Houston Outlaws fan, you should remember when Houston lost to Florida Mayhem, when Florida Mayhem were really bad, they lost to Florida Mayhem with that same strat where they come out on Bastion, on watch point, they brought the third point to stall, and it got like 3 or 4 kills. It was very dark. But nice play of the game by a quick draw here. Nice 3K, help his team catch up the point. Nice win.
That really did.
Nice win on the side of Spellbound Tengus as well.
That was an awesome match on the side of both teams. I mean, both teams really gave it their all, and they both brought the game. That does actually make today's scoring 3-1 in favor of Spellbound Tengus.
Do you have any MVPs? Is there anyone you were thinking about giving it to? Or anyone you thought popped out? I honestly think everyone played well. I do think everyone played well. that played.
Everyone played amazing. MVPs is going to be so difficult because there was just the tanks, Bambi and both Bambi and Zany blocking shatters left and right and getting their shatters so quickly. Pixie was such a good backup. Pixie played, I think, every single map, actually. Mm-hmm. Yes, Bambi and Pixie both played every single map. Pixie was just such a good backup for Bambi, and then also for, like, their supports. They were bubbling, like, the correct people when they needed to when they were playing Zarya. They were eating the right stuff as D.Va. They didn't really fall much out of mech as D.Va without their bomb, which was really great. And even, like, Hungo on the last map was getting their D.Va bombs so quickly that even for the contest, it was even just a great reset.
For tank, I do think in my opinion, Pixie stood out more than every other tank in the lobby.
I would definitely say that Pixie stood out amazingly, and even like all of the roles, it's just ridiculous.
I will say, as for Spellbound Tengus, like they have had a lot of roster changes all season. I really do believe I think their potential is absolutely through the roof. I think they can. If they get like the synergy down and everything, I think Spellbound could beat any team in Tier 2. I really do. I have a lot of faith. Their DPS, Skrillex played great. Quickdraw played great. All three of their supports that played amazing. Bamboo and Pixie played great all series. I think Spellbound, their stock going up. Their stock are going up.
Yes,
Spellbound
I think
played really well.
I think that Spellbound went through a lot of changes, and I think that it was really changes maybe for the better for them. Like people that they've picked up people that seem to be working well together. They did look a little shaky at the start, and then they just seemed to get into their rhythm. And I mean, even Bushido Banzai, like it started like the first map, it started off very slow, but they brought their A game. Like they weren't like, we're just gonna roll over and let this other team go over us because they won map 1. They said, we're going to try our damnedest, and we're going to do what we need to do. And all the maps were just so close because both teams were just so ready to go at it.
Map 3 and 4 definitely could have went in the favor of Bushido Banzai, so they have nothing to be ashamed
definitely.
of. They played it really well.
Honestly, the maps 3 and 4 were just such a coin flip. Mm-hmm. Like, it really could have just went in either direction.
Especially map 3. Like, Bushido, they get a 3.5-minute time bank. It's Temple of Anubis. I don't think anyone would have expected for the enemy to get an even higher timing. Like that's really impressive on the side of Spellbound Tengus. So it was. But DPS. So DPS. Who are you? Well, it depends on who they nominate as well. That plays a role.
Yes, I was about to say, did they put in any nominations?
I'm gonna ask now. DPS, who do you think stood out? I really think Skrillex played great as well. I think Skrillex and Quickdraw both played well. J Money.
I think that Skrillex and Quickdraw played very well, but even on Bushido, their DPS were really great. Like Habibi, those Deadeyes were amazing on all the maps that they were playing on tonight. Like they played on Numbani and they played on Gibraltar. I was not disappointed watching them play. Like they really helped kind of bring it all together. I think that those were also two of the maps that really gave Spellbound Tengus a tough time. And I don't know if that DPS switch kind of helped in it. And I just want to point out, as you had pointed out on Numbani, the idea to go and have the Echo copy the Mercy to kind of hold for that last grab on Numbani with Chaotic on the Echo was amazing. There honestly, none of the DPS that played tonight played badly. They all played very well. And even the supports, like the supports were insane. Nyano's reses were off of the charts. That helped save so many team fights. Hash Brown having those amazing antis, that might have gotten them Temple of Anubis. The antis that they were doing on their supports and their tanks. Even on the side of Bushido, their supports were amazing. They ran most of the same supports. Like, they ran Book on every single map. And I would argue that Book was probably one of the most versatile supports that was in today.
So, Chaotic Phoenix gave their MVP noms. I'm assuming this is from the team. Pixie for tank,
Yes.
which is what we both said,
It-
and also Neano for support, which I think is a really good nom. Also,
I
they
think that's
both.
an amazing nom as well. And let's Spellbound Tengus, what are your MVP nominations? Because I'm very curious if they nominate a DPS, because honestly, this is such a hard map for us to choose MVPs for. But I can 100% get behind giving Pixie that tank MVP. Okay.
Did Spellbound give
They,
theirs yet?
Book and Zany.
Okay,
I can I can agree with Book for support. So I can I can also agree with Nyano for support though too.
yeah. As far as tank goes, I think Pixie takes the cake in my opinion.
Yeah, Pixie definitely takes the cake for the tank. I would agree with Book taking the support MVP just because Book was so versatile. They had great nano boosts. They had great antis. I think that at one point they even hopped on the Mercy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would
as well.
definitely agree with that one.
Yeah, I would be okay with Book taking support also. DPS,
So-
I think I really like Skrillex. I thought Skrillex he won every map he played. You know, I think Skrillex played really well.
I would argue. I'm still saying Habibi because every map that they played the first map that they played in was a win, but the second one that they had played in was still a very close one, and they gave so much trouble to like the Tracer diving in their back line. Do you know how many times that Tracer got stunned by that McCree flashbang?
I could get behind the BB as well.
I'm gonna vote Young Habibi for MVP for Bushido. I know that they only played in 2 maps, but the 2 maps that they played in, Chef's Kiss.
So would that be 2 for Spellbound Tengus?
That would be 2 for Spellbound Tengus, 1 for Bushido Banzai, and would we be able to give an honorable mention at least to Nyano boost because, like I said, those reses once again, Chef's Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like that. Honorable mention to
If you agree with me, of course.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no. Am I muted?
we
Oh,
must
no.
we have
Yeah.
to be in agreement.
Yeah, no. I think we agree on all of them. I think Habibi. I think Skrillex played great, but I can get behind Habibi as well. We both obviously loved Pixie in this match. Also, sorry if you guys hear my roommates outside my room. They're like talking basketball.
Toku, the score wound up being 3-1 in favor of Spellbound Tengus. The match is over. We're actually just discussing the MVPs, which will soon be posted. For anyone that's still hanging around, you guys should tune in to the next match, which will actually be in about 20 minutes for Cosmic Dawn and Iconic Noobs, which is going to be happening at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Also,
and it's going to be right on Overwatch Oasis' stream channel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in agreement for the MVPs and the honorable mention?
Pixie for tank, correct. Habibi for DPS, and support was Book of. What'd you say?
Support was
Book of Sorrows, correct?
It was Book of Sorrows. Yes,
Okay.
I wrote it down, and I'm terrible at reading my own damn handwriting.
And honorable mention for Neano Boost, who also.
And an honorable mention for Nano Boost because, like I said, for the third time, Chef's Kiss on those reses and those antis.
Yeah, it was a really nice series from both teams.
It was an amazing series, and I really hope to see more from both of these teams. Both teams played so well, and I really want to see both teams flourish. They both have such potential to continue and keep winning on all of their maps.
Yeah, I think it was every map could have gone either way. It was very close on both sides. So it was a very fun series to stream. Cast, I guess I should say.
Cast, stream, all of the above. All right, so I've been Bill, and oh wait, they want to do interviews. Do they want to do interviews?
Yeah. It said
Okay.
Bunny, Rabid Bunny.
Bunny wants. Oh, Rabid Bunny wants to do an interview. Rabid Bunny didn't even play.
No. I think she said she didn't place. I think that's what she said in Matt's chat, was that she didn't place.
Oh. Well, isn't
So
it
you have
usually the
to place.
captains? Yeah, you have to. I'm
Is it,
sorry,
wait,
Bunny.
wait, isn't... I think
Bunny's
Bunny,
joining on you anyway.
Yeah, I know. Bunny, I invited her. Bunny, aren't you a captain on Spellbound?
Yeah, I'm a co-captain.
Oh,
Okay.
see, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
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 So I know that you didn't really get to play because you hadn't placed yet, but that was the teams did so well, and I'm very impressed by Spellbound, especially because there's been so much movement in it. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been having a lot of coaching done the past week or so, and we're still making some pickups, doing some trials. So,
Well, that's
hopefully...
good to see, and it does seem to be working for you guys.
Yeah, it has been. We picked a very good lineup tonight.
Yeah, I will say...
We were...
Oh, you can go. You can go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Kenny.
you were still talking. You can go.
Oh. I was just saying before that it was insanely difficult for us to choose MVPs between both of the teams, and even like to choose for teams themselves was insanely difficult. All of the players just played out of their minds tonight.
I agree.
You can ask what you wanted to, Kenny.
Yeah, ask me.
So I do feel like every week, like from the start to where we are now, every week you guys have gotten better and better. Do you think the issue lately has been the synergy? Because I think I don't know how many changes you guys have had, but it has been a lot. So do you think the synergy
Absolutely.
is the biggest issue? Yeah, like the synergy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even now, almost every scrim that we have a trial or 2 or 3 trials in. So, like, even now, this lineup that we had in the majority of the time, we have not practiced very much at all.
Really?
Yeah. Typically it's like Pixie and Honey or Bambi and Honey, but we decided to go with Bambi and Pixie tonight, and I think it really paid off.
No, it really is.
I think that it really did pay off. They were like working off of each other so well.
Yeah.
We actually gave Pixie the tank MVP tonight.
Yeah, Pixie did amazing tonight. They all did. I was very proud of my team.
Mm-hmm.
I like both teams. I know a lot of people on Bushido, and I like them a lot as well. But I was so proud of my team.
Yeah,
We
and
came a long way.
Yeah, I will say a bit of the issue that at the start of the season that we saw was closing out fights. I think you guys did that really well tonight. Outside of Nubani, where like on your Nubani attack, I do think the last fight that was like in your guys' favor, and then it kind of slipped away. But I think
Right.
Oasis, you guys were able to clutch it up every time on Anubis. I was very, very impressed by your Anubis attack, because to give up a 3.5 minute time making, and you come back and like do better than that on Anubis of all maps, like that is absolutely impressive. And so
I agree.
You guys really killed it.
Our
Anubis.
defense there on Anubis, that is a map that honestly I think that was possibly the first time we have won that map. We've tried to practice it, but like I said, with all the trials and everything, just we haven't found something that that works well on attack or defense
It's
for
the
that
worst
map.
map in the
But
game. Worst
it
map
really
in the
is.
game. It's so bad.
It's pretty though, but
It is a very
it's
pretty
not
map.
fun. Yeah.
So also, I brought up earlier on stream that I think once you guys get the synergy down, like, because there are, like, a lot of teams have been playing since before the season even started, and we have teams like
Right.
For Content, which is the team that I captain, and Rogue Knights. You know, like we have been playing for a year plus. Some people have been playing for a year plus on those teams, and I think Rogue Knights are
Right.
even like closer to 2 years. And so it's like the synergy. I do think is the biggest issue with you guys because the talent
Yep.
at every position is definitely there for you guys. And
Right.
I really do think you guys are going to be a scary team going forward. Like you guys are a good
I hope
team.
so. Yeah, we just, we got to work on that synergy and our comms are something we've been working really hard on. And since we've got our coaching, we have improved greatly, definitely.
Comms are the biggest thing, and when finding synergy is like who's gonna be the leader in calls, which I think a lot of teams, even like as they go forward, it's still like an issue that they have, like who's gonna be the leader in comms, because if you bring in a lot of people, which you guys didn't bring a lot of people tonight, it was kind of the same. I think the same 5 people at least played like every map, or at least 3
Yeah.
of the 4 maps. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we get to that.
We might have a lot of people on our roster, but not a lot of people show for a lot of scrims and stuff. We got a lot of busy people still.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate, but
the lineup
it's okay.
tonight, I think the lineup tonight was great with Bambi, Pixie.
It was a strong one.
Yeah, you guys.
It really
absolutely
was.
played great.
I was very proud of our dive, I will say.
Yeah, it was impressive. It really was impressive on Anubis and Gibraltar. It was really impressive.
Yep.
Any more questions?
I
Lily?
didn't have any more questions. I'm just very happy that I got to watch this.
Yeah, hey, me too. I gotta kick back and have a couple beers. I'm not mad at myself tonight that I didn't do my placements. I get to enjoy this.
It worked out. It worked
Yep.
out. You guys wound up putting forth a very strong composition of players, and I hope to see more from them and from your team.
Yes, you guys will.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
I gotta try to
Well-
be confident about it.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us here in our little casters booth. Our invisible
thank you.
casters booth. And then there's still one more game tonight, which is in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're plugging the Twitch now. Catch it in 15 minutes. I need healing and
10
Cosmic Dawn.
10 p.m. games. Those are real gamer hours. So
Those are real gamer hours.
Yeah.
The 10 p.m. Eastern.
couldn't imagine. That is insane. That is impressive. But thank you for joining, Bunny. It's
Yeah.
nice having you. Congratulations on the win tonight, and good luck to your team going forward.
Yes. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you. You too.
So that will wrap up the stream.
That'll wrap up our stream. Yes.
Thank you for joining in, everyone. For joining Villain and I on this very exciting game. It goes 3-1 to Spellbound Tengus, with the MVPs being for Tank, Pixie, Tink, DPS, Younger BB, and support, Book of Sorrows, with an honorable mention to Neano Boost.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. It is